Today's program is brought to you by Whole Foods Market. For more information, visit WholeFoodsMarket.com.
I'm Greg Blaze, host of Cutting the Curd. You're listening to Heritage Radio Network, broadcasting live from Bushwick, Brooklyn. If you like this program, visit heritageradionetwork.org for thousands more.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, Snacky Tunes.
Hello. Welcome to Snacky Tunes. I am one half your host, Greg Bresnitz.
Hello, and I'm your other half, your host, Darin Bresnitz.
Calling in from Kauai.
Yes. Happily, thank you to my wonderful and amazing, understanding wife for understanding that I want to call in for our 250th episode.
I was pretty sure thanks to my amazing brother for holding it down while you've been getting married on the honeymoon. But yeah, I guess
no,
wife
I'm
first.
going to shout out my wife and thank her. But I will say happy Sibling Day.
Is it Happy Sibling Day?
Yes, national, possibly international, but it is Happy Sibling Day according to the internet.
Oh, well, the internet has never been wrong. Once. Welcome to episode 250 of Snacky Tunes. That was Mary Lattimore, or a.k.a. Mary from Philly, who has brought our first harp into the studio. We figured we might as well mix it up. And she will be meditating and jamming live in a little bit, which we're really excited about. But welcome back. Third time's the charm. Noah from Mile End, Black Seed Bagel, Grand Army, fellow lover of all things salted and cured. Welcome.
Thank you once again, guys, for having me. And I just want to say a big congratulations to Darin and Anna.
Yeah, well done. Welcome back. Oh, yeah, it's the first time you called her his wife on air.
Yeah.
Well, she is my wife, and she is amazing, and I love her very much.
Oh, I see a theme. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's not just a technical term.
Yeah.
It actually means something more than that.
Yeah.
Yes, it does mean a lot.
So, if any of you devotees of Snacky Tunes recall, Noah was on when we first met you, when Mile End was kind of getting its legs underneath it, as you will, and then you came back to talk about the cookbook. But so much has happened since then. Black Seed Bagel, Grand Army, living.
Yeah.
A little girl named Sandy came and knocked on your door.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, it's been a while. So let's kind of get some things out of the way. Let's talk about Black Seed Bagel first and just kind of give people the rundown because it kind of has saved some of us like an 8-hour trip up north.
Well, it's they're sort of Montreal bagels. They're hybrid bagels officially, technically. So Matt Kliegman and I, we got together and we started Black Seed. Bagels made the old-fashioned way. Pretty simple application of the idea of a bagel shop, and the idea, like everything else that we try to do, is to do sort of the simple things simply and really well. And we are doing our best over at Black Seed. I think we're getting better every day. So always a work in progress, but it's been really fun, and I really enjoy being in the bagel business versus the meat business.
What's the difference?
Well, it's water and flour is a
water and flour.
Yeah,
the honey. Don't forget the honey.
The honey too, but the honey is it's a small component. But yeah, I mean the meat business is not that easy to be in these days. The cost of meat is very expensive and going up in price, and the cost of flour is relatively stable. So
now, for those who aren't most familiar with a Montreal style bagel, who some consider the best bagel in the world, can you tell people the difference between a Montreal style bagel and what they might consider, a normal American style bagel?
Well, let's get a few universal rules out of the way. One, a bagel is always shaped by hand.
Okay.
Okay.
Like a really good bagel has to be shaped by hand.
Not by a machine.
Not by a machine. There's a certain pressure that your hand delivers to the dough that a machine doesn't quite do with the same nuance, and that goes for Montreal and New York bagels and bagels everywhere.
Universal rule number 1. Universal rule number 2.
Number 2 is you always boil a bagel and then you always bake it afterward. So there's no steam conveyor cooking type device that is going to recreate the 2-step process of boiling and baking. And then really at that point, that's when the two traditions diverge, which are both legitimate traditions and have their own places in people's hearts and minds.
Sure.
So just to get the competition element out of the way, so Montreal bagels have a similar diameter but a much larger hole. They're proofed for a lot less time. So they're denser and they have a kind of a higher chew. The texture of the inside is a little bit airier and stretchier, if you will. The bagel is baked. It's boiled in honey and contains honey in the dough, and baked in a wood burning oven. Very seeded, both sides. Very strongly flavored based on its exterior coating. The New York bagel is boiled but without honey, has malt in the dough instead of honey, has a little bit of salt, which Montreal bagels don't have, and then those are baked typically they're called they're not conveyor ovens, but they do these this sort of horizontal rotation type oven, and they're usually a little bit less seated, I've found.
And they don't have sticks to pull them out. Those long, beautiful...
Oh, yeah, those boards actually, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we have peels and then we have those boards. Those boards get beat up and they're not actually that beautiful, but the peels are nice.
I'm kind of curious, how many boards you would go through in a year, if you were just to stick to the boards.
We go through about 60 to 70 boards a year.
Is there a certain type of wood that's better for it, or is it...
We use just a good, we use oak because it's fairly heat resistant. It doesn't char as readily as as pine or something like that.
Do you reuse that wood when it's just time to fire up those bagels? Does it get a traditional send off in the oven?
Yeah, we shoot off rifles and those typically get recycled at the end. Yeah, they're a little too destroyed by the time we pull them out of commission after the 2-month mark.
And the Black Seed, I feel like I see the bagels everywhere. I feel like you guys have really kind of entrenched yourself in the local market that's like, oh, these bagels, of course, they're black seed.
There's a few restaurants, there's a few stores you can get the bagels, but it's we're, you could say, hanging on for dear life on the production and bagel making side, in the sense that it's a laborious process and it's tough to train people effectively to perform the task. So we don't have a ton of bagels to go around even at this point. Having 2 ovens going, but we're working on it, and we'd love to figure out how to get the bagels out there to a greater extent, for sure.
And so what's the response been to, people who, New Yorkers are, I don't want to say opinionated, but I will say have their strong, dedication to either a bodega, to a certain, bagel shop. Have you had some converts over the last, since you've been open?
I hope we've had some. I think we have. I mean,
the lines would say
it would
there's
seem
some
that
converts.
it would seem that we've converted some, but we haven't converted others. I mean, a couple weeks ago, Mimi Sheridan tweeted at us that it was, just really, she really did not like it. Really didn't. It was really harsh words. I can't even remember.
We saw her speak today. We were at the Jubilee earlier.
Yeah,
she's good. She's got an opinion.
Yeah, she sure does. Yeah, no, I've anyway, whatever. She's Mimi Sheridan, and she's permitted to have her own opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, not everyone loves them. Not everyone likes the idea of us, taking a different avenue towards bagels, and that's fine.
But I mean, if you're going to open, it's the same. It's like if you're going to open a bagel shop in New York in 2014, 15, 16, you can't just be like, okay, we're
Well, some people would disagree. Some people would be like, why does everything that opens nowadays have to be like a quote unquote a gentrifying concept? People think of what we do to bagels as a gentrifying type of thing.
What do you mean?
I just think when we opened these Village store, that was something we were really sensitive to, was people being like, this is a gentrifying enterprise. We're moving into a neighborhood. We're bringing a product that is an everyday product for most people, and we're doing it at a slightly elevated cost because we're doing it really at a elevated cost, to the business.
Right. I mean, but that is and we don't have to get into that argument, but that is better ingredients, different process, not mass production.
Yeah, it takes a lot more people to roll bagels by hand than it does to feed it into a machine.
Yeah.
So.
Right. What are they calling? Hold on. Are they referring to Lower East Side and gentrification in any sense of that term, and seeing how it's 2016?
I mean, of course, everyone's just sensitive to the and don't forget, we took over a space. I actually noticed in the recording room, the studio room, whatever you call it, the room that we're not in right now at the radio station. There's a photo of the D. Roberta's pastry shop from. I mean, must be at least, that photo was probably at least 90 years old.
Right.
And that's the space we moved into. So, people see that space closed down for business, and then us open in it, and obviously their first instinct is to draw attention to the fact that our bagels are a quarter more than at the average bagel shop in the neighborhood. Now, a quarter to most people doesn't seem like that much more money to spend on something that is being made with specific care, with specific ingredients, but to other people that's a real amount of money to be spending on bagels more, and and that's just something that we're sensitive to, and that is challenging. And so, and even going back to the Mimi Sheridan thing, it's there is an old school belief in New York City that it's a place of certain institutions that define the city and are in a way should and ought to live on forever. And I believe to some extent in that too, but another type of bagel is allowed to open ultimately in New York, index. And it's
it's the classic bagel index.
Yeah,
it's the price of milk, the price of eggs, and the price of bagels.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick musical break, and then we're going to talk about Passover, 420 day, Grand Army, new chefs. I mean, we get the
that was just one idea I put out there for 420 Day. Just as I just figured it's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up. I mean, I don't partake, but we can
talk about how others may.
Others may. Yeah. So this is one of our all-time favorite guests on the radio show, Au revoir Simone, who were Mary, yeah? No, do you love them too? Okay, Mary loves them too. Live on Snacky Tunes, and then we'll be back.
Today's program is proudly brought to you by Whole Foods Market, America's healthiest grocery store with more than 400 locations throughout the United States. Download the Whole Foods Market app on your smartphone for recipes, sales, information, and digital coupons. Or visit WholeFoodsMarket.com to find a store closest to you. Have you listened to A Taste of the Past? It's a show devoted to connecting our current food world with its storied past. Host and culinary historian Linda Palacio welcomes chefs, scientists, authors, scholars, and revolutionaries into the studio to discuss food culture and history from around the globe.
Have you seen the culture of food change over the past 25, 30 years?
Incredible. It's been incredible.
Linda covers content ranging from the history of black chefs in the White House to behavioral psychology and the evolution of Italian food in America. You can listen to A Taste of the Past anytime on heritageradionetwork.org or on iTunes and Stitcher.
Oh my God, the show sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Snacky Tunes. So as my mom and Jordana Rothman have both informed me, Passover is upon us.
April 22nd and 23rd for those who are wondering.
Who are partake.
Who partake in Passover.
You always do something fun for Passover at the restaurants. What kind of goes into your thinking for planning a Passover menu that you can serve to the larger public?
Whoa, easy up there on the
easy on the
mouthpiece there, Darin.
sorry.
Passover, we try to keep it pretty simple in the restaurants. That's just because that's often what people want, is just to symbolically celebrate Jewish holidays by simply eating food that could sometimes be construed as Jewish. And then we try, in the past, we've done a few really fun Seders with Mitchell Davis, who's also a host here at Heritage Radio, at the Beard House. He's hosted a number of Passover Seders in the last 6 years. And this year we're very excited to actually be hosting our own with our friends over at And in the West Village. It's going to be a nice we're calling it an unorthodox Seder, in the sense where it's both unorthodox and also we'll be reading from the unorthodox Haggadah, which is written by Nathan Phillips.
And serving bread.
Yes, so unorthodox is bread instead of matzah. No, there'll be real matzah actually from actually not real, not rabbinically real, but real matzah from black seed, from the wood ovens of black seed.
Oh, that's great. Will you be selling matzah during the interim of Passover?
TBD. No promises on that front, but there will definitely be black seed bagels matzah at the Mile End Seder.
What was the recipe testing like for making your own matzah?
Matzah really is like flour and water, like literally, like absolutely.
So you had the ingredients.
Exactly. Like there's actually not much else in there, so you just sort of go for it. I mean, you're basically making crackers. Okay. You use what's it called? Those little rolly. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, you roll it out really, really, really thin. Make a super thin cracker.
I mean, I'm a purist. I just like plain matzah. My dad loved egg matzah. I could never get into it.
Well, I understand. And the egg matzah.
I love egg matzah.
I mean, it's got a little richness to it. It's like a meal.
Oh, yeah.
It's like not exactly like a meal, but plain matzah is pretty gross, Greg. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I think that butter and Mom's strawberry jam is kind of like,
That's not plain though. That you're adding fat and sugar.
I mean, I'm just saying like the base.
Yeah, but
will you be adding a matzah?
Are you guys going to be doing any matzah brai or
that was my question.
Any special like matzah dishes during Passover?
Yeah, we're definitely going to do matzah brai, which we always do, and we'll do. I don't know what else we're going to do, actually. I say that, but we always offer matzah as a substitute for bread, which is something that I first did at Schwartz's in Montreal. I'd go in on Passover, they would serve it on matzah if you wanted, and I thought, well, that's just a great idea.
It's a really great idea.
Yeah, why not?
Huh, and wow, my mind's kind of blown that they're like that forward. Progressive up there. I thought like nothing would change.
It's
their menu.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, it's
and is this Passover open to the public?
Yeah. No, it's totally open to the public. You can buy tickets via our website. It's on brown paper tickets. It's going to be really fun. We have this awesome Jewish mystic type dude who was the rabbi, the Shabbat rabbi at Burning Man, and. As you know, Jordana and Ray speak very highly of this one Shabbat service that they attended at Burning Man this past year, and they insisted that I reach out to him, and I did, and he's coming.
Great.
Mikey Pauker's coming from Oakland. It's going to be super cool. And,
that's amazing.
And and it's what's cool is that the unorthodox Haggadah is somewhat irreverent about the whole. It takes us through the story, but in a pretty kind of questioning way. And Mikey, on the other hand, has such a sincerity and a earnestness to his approach, and I think it's going to be a really nice contrast. And all that coupled with a really delicious meal of like roasted lamb shoulder, like braised shanks, sunchoke salad, bunch of stuff.
That sounds delicious.
It's going to be really good. It's very, very, it's the desert food.
I want to make sure that we talk about Grand Army just
a nugget.
Just a nugget.
Wait, hold on. Before we swap over to Grand Army and we walk away from Mile End, shout out to having Trudeau come by.
JP.
Oh, my God.
JP. First off, that shot of you and Joel. So you guys look such like good Brooklyn boys shaking hands, kissing babies with the PM.
Yeah, well, it was obviously an honor to have him, and we thank him so much for coming by the restaurant. We met him a little over a week earlier, actually, in Washington. He was there for the first state dinner with a Canadian Prime Minister in 19 years, which is, I think, a mind-boggling
That's
statistic.
Crazy. Yeah.
And you got invited to that as well?
Well, no, we weren't invited to that. No. Come on, please. Check your enthusiasm a little there, Darin. But no, there was an event the night before that was thrown for the Prime Minister by some progressive groups in D.C., and we were invited to come to that and serve some smoked meat. So we got to meet him that night, and then he promised to come by the restaurant if he was in New York ever. And sure enough, he was in New York like 8 days later, and he came by the restaurant.
He has Secret Service, right?
Yeah, he has like Canadian version of Secret Service, which is just like a couple bros, and then there's also Secret Service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did they sweep
so, like,
the rest? Did
not
the whole
like
restaurant
one, just like thick, big Mountie, right? Like on a moose.
No, there were no moose were hurt in the visit of Mile End. No, there's like obviously some like regular Canadian security folks. But the restaurant was actually open. They did sweep it in advance, like earlier in the week. And there was a tremendous amount of security surrounding the restaurant and in the restaurant. But ultimately, most guests that were in when he arrived were in and were okay with it and were pretty psyched. So
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So we only have a couple questions left, but Grand Army, one fun fact that you could impart to us about your newest endeavor.
Oh, God. One fun fact.
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
Well, how about this? For people who don't know what Grand Army is, what is it?
Grand Army is a neighborhood cocktail bar with really great food in Bourne Hill. This little bar was opened by Julian Brizzi from Rucola, Damon Bolte, who has his own show on this network called The Speakeasy.
Damon.
And also the one and only Daniel Krieger, famous photographer, and myself. And it's just a neighborhood venture from some guys in the neighborhood. And it's supposed to be just a fun place to get drinks and to eat. Our chef Brad is doing awesome stuff in the kitchen. And it's just a chill, fun, good vibes type place.
All right, then my one fun fact is, what is like one of the more overlooked things at the restaurant that you wish people paid more attention to as an owner?
As an owner, well, I think a lot of people have noticed, but we do have one of the best toilet seats in the entire restaurant business in New York City, I think.
Please go on.
Listen, there's a lot of cool toilets in New York City restaurants, like certain spots have really good toilets.
They have a good one here at Blanco.
They do, yeah. And, there's like places that have the Japanese toilets, which, as some know, like have certain spray functions, cleaning paraphernalia, whatever, what have you, flushing options, etc. Our toilet seat has a hologram on it. It's a hologram toilet seat.
Okay. Don't give it all away.
Yeah, but let's just say it's a really good hologram.
Yeah.
And it really fits. It fits the vibe in there.
Well, there's like some 99-cent store hologram toilet seats that you can get.
No, this was like a $45.99 on Amazon type hologram. But here's the best part: is that we actually bought it not knowing it was a hologram.
Oh, amazing!
And then it arrived and it was a hologram, and it felt like we won the lottery.
Yeah.
It really the amount of joy that it brought to the whole group was really outsized and sad, but.
Hey,
but real.
Takes all kinds. Well, we want to thank you for coming back for third time. Very quickly, run down the social media and see where people can find you for all of your endeavors?
Oh, mileendeli.com, blackseedbagels.com, and grandarmybar.com. Pretty straightforward.
Very straightforward.
And same with all of our handles is at Mile End Deli, at Black Seed Bagels, and at Grand Army
Well
Bar.
done.
Yeah.
Really well done. Well,
thank you.
We're going to play a song by one of our other favorites, Colin Self, who we are dying to get back on after his time at Bard. And then we have Mary Lattimore, who will be playing live and talking about Philly and all things that we didn't discuss before taping because, got to keep the magic alive. Here on episode 250 of Snacky Tunes. Oh, man, we got to get Colin back on. Mary, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks.
Philly.
Yeah.
Let's just get that out of the way. Let's just get where do you get your cheesesteaks?
Oh, I don't eat cheesesteaks.
What?
All right, fine, let's get this out of the way.
Oh, man. Any
Shout out to
vegetarian?
Villanova. Go what?
No, not vegetarian. I
man.
just don't like cheesesteaks. I don't eat a lot of like.
Okay, fair enough. Favorite pizza place?
I like Pizzeria Badia.
Okay.
In Fishtown.
As we just said, and also Philly style bagels.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming up.
Thanks.
You've been having 5 days of adventure in New York. Mm-hmm. Where did you go record store shopping?
Record Grouch.
Okay.
I went there today.
What'd you get?
Oh, what did I get? I got an electronic whole reissue and I got a Zelda record, Turkish psych lady, and
Nice.
yeah. Yesterday I went to Academy. It was fun. Just hanging out around here.
Yeah.
Spending money.
I mean, that's what the city does to you. So I saw you about, was it 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago for your
Yeah.
record release?
Mm-hmm.
It was really amazing. Love Matt, love Sam.
Oh, yeah, me too.
The show was really incredible. I'm curious, obviously this is our first harp. Does your harp have a name, by the way?
Nah, Harpy.
Okay. Harpy. Okay. How did you develop your style of playing? Because it's incredible.
Thank you. That's so nice. I don't know, just like trial and error, I guess. I just started using effects a couple years ago and just messing around, experimenting with them.
And as far as it goes, obviously you trained on the harp, but when did you start adding in the distortion pedal, and when did that how did that get integrated into your playing?
Yeah, I studied classical music, and then when I moved to Philly, I started playing music with some bands there in a project that was making a new soundtrack for a Czech New Wave film called Valerie and Her Week of Wonders. We sort of did a reimagining of the soundtrack and went on tour with that, and there were some musicians in that ensemble that one in particular, Fursaxa, she's my friend Tara Burke, and she was messing around with the line 6, and she makes very beautiful haunting loops and vocal loops and keyboard loops, and so we started playing together, the two of us along with the cellist, and it sort of came out of playing with those ladies.
Do you switch back to just no pedals?
Yeah, sometimes, and I write a lot of parts for bands, for recordings that aren't effect laden
Sure.
like that, that are just normal harp parts.
Yeah, but which you like better?
Both.
Oh, okay.
I love it all. Yeah, I love it all.
Can we hear? Well, before we hear something, what I really liked is it's when I was watching you play, it just seemed like you were following your own kind of inspiration.
Yeah.
That the loops inspired the next loops, and it was really beautiful to watch them blend into each other, and it was cool to see you pick up themes and kind of go back to things and everything. So how what is your kind of thought process, or what are you listening for as you create the pieces?
It's all very impressionistic and very personal. So I don't know. Yeah, you're exactly right. One thing just sort of leads to the other and another, and I don't know.
Okay.
It's just messing around.
Can we hear you mess around?
Sure.
Okay. So your new record, At the Dam, which is out on Ghostly. Big shout out to Sam, who is amazing.
Hey, Sam.
And Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Shout out to Ghostly.
You used it. You were a recipient of the Pew Center for Arts and Heritage grant, and you used it to record the record.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the recording process, let's talk about the grant.
Oh man.
Take us through the process.
Yeah, that was the happiest thing that's ever happened to me. It was so awesome. It was so killer. It's a grant. It's a fellowship given to 12 people in Philly each year. So 12 artists, so it's visual artists and poets and musicians, writers, playwrights, choreographers, and 12 people each year get this. But it's done through secret nomination, and so somebody out there sort of watches you and sort of sees your trajectory and how serious you are about what you're doing, and then they nominate you to apply. So then you apply, and then you go through this process where there's a panel of different people who sort of who look at your application and then present it to other panels of people, so it's all really complicated, but eventually they announce it and I won it.
Wait, so you have no idea who nominated you?
I don't know.
Really?
Uh-huh.
And so, there's no real way that you could, influence them. People just...
Right.
That's really incredible.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then, so, once you're nominated, though, did you have to say, what you would do with it, or...
Nope. No strings attached.
Really?
Just, a chunk of money and... Yeah,
So
it's
you,
awesome.
So you could just like pay rent. I mean, not just pay rent, but I
right.
mean that's a huge.
You can quit
part.
your like 5 part-time jobs and just focus on music.
Not that that's what you did.
I
right?
quit 3 of them.
Okay. Which 2 did you keep?
Well, I worked at a record store for a long time in Philly, AKA Music, and it unfortunately just closed last year. But I kept that one, and then I kept a job as sort of a personal assistant, babysitter, assistant person for a while. But I just quit it too, so I'm jobless and really psyched to just like play music for a living now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the record was recorded over a road trip. Mm-hmm. So how did you? I mean, again, given going back to your songwriting process, like what you just did in here was so incredible to watch. But how do you codify that into a record?
Well, my whole thing was like I wanted to take the money from the fellowship and have something substantial, like a actual item that came, like a keepsake that came from that whole like 2 years of having the fellowship. So I took my harp and my Volvo and I drove to LA, and I drove the southern route. So I stopped in all these towns, and I got a sort of an informal residency in Joshua Tree. So I was out there for 5 days, and then I stayed in Marfa for 5 days, Marfa, Texas, and then and then went out to Altadena outside of LA and got an Airbnb there and recorded there. So I just had my laptop and GarageBand and
Really?
Yeah, I just sort of vibed off of like the landscapes and stuff and just feelings.
Where was your residency in Joshua Tree?
It's called 1,000 Points of Light residency. It's just this woman, Kiara, who opens her home up to visiting musicians who are, who she decides she likes what they're doing.
And did you see friends along the way, or was it like a okay?
Yeah, and I traveled with a really good friend of mine, Natalie. She drove with me out to Joshua Tree, and then I left her there. She was doing something there.
Bye, Natalie. She might still be there. But then, so like, again, it's like when did you, for writing the record, it's just interesting for something that's so improvisational and it's so based on feelings. How did something feel ready for the record versus like that was just like a really good jam?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's I just saved everything, and there's a couple things that didn't make the record just for time wise,
Only a couple things.
Like it would, yeah, I know. Some of the songs are kind of long, but there's like good moments in all of them that you don't want to delete just because it's like a long song. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, there's like a few things that didn't make it on, but in general, it's more like a scrapbook, Sort of captures like that place and time.
So do you hear in the various parts of the songs, do you like hear a memory or an emotion?
Yeah, I hear how I felt when I played it for the first time,
That's great. Can we hear another song?
Sure.
so rad.
I just had a
So beautiful.
Hey, thanks.
super. It's incredible to watch you play. I just had a thought. If someone has like a favorite track on the record, there's no way they'll ever see you play it live, right?
Yeah. I played one from the record.
Okay.
I'm gonna play another one, I think. Yeah, you'll hear me play it live. It's like general themes, but improvising on the general idea of the song.
Just kind of curious if it was like all moving forward, no looking back.
No. Yeah, that song, that one right there, that one I wrote for the astronaut, Scott Kelly.
Dedicated?
Dedicated to him.
Does he know?
300. Yeah, I wrote to NASA and I sent them the song, and they sent it to him.
Really?
And he liked it.
That's awesome.
And he's going to use it in a slideshow of space.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's perfect space music.
Yeah.
It's really good space music. So the record's been out for 5 weeks?
Yeah, since March 4th.
Yeah, so what comes next? What's the summer look like?
I'll tell you. I'm going to Europe on Thursday.
Okay.
I'm touring with a Canadian band called Great Lakes Swimmers.
Oh, yeah.
They're a Canadian folk band.
Yep.
I know those guys. Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Cool.
No,
Are they nice? I'm going to be in a van with them for like a month.
Yeah. Well, they've been around for a long time. They're old school band.
What Noah's not saying is that he played in bands in a former life.
Oh, cool.
From Canada.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll be with them for a month, and then, or maybe 3 weeks, and then I'm going to spend an extra week in Vienna, in Austria. Then I'm playing May 18th here at Union Pool.
Love Union Pool.
Opening for Marissa Nadler. Do you know her music? Beautiful singer.
Yep.
It's her record release show. So that's
Where
coming up.
are you hitting in Europe?
Oh, all the places. Going to Barcelona for the first time.
Fantastic.
And Madrid. Like, I've never played in Spain before, so that'll be cool.
I mean, just like try to like play your set and just get out to go eat afterwards.
Yeah, man. Because they eat late, right?
They eat late, but they're trying to do it with siesta.
Eat real late.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like end of an era.
That's like that. Siesta was like the hope that the rest of the world had for a better future.
Yeah. Then like and now this,
One day.
everyone's like, I can't wait to work towards that, and they're like, it doesn't work. we can't.
Siestas.
Yeah. They say it's not productive for their economy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. It's a big.
It's huge.
There
Yeah.
should be a protest where everyone just takes one anyway.
There was a protest, but everyone was sleeping.
Yeah.
It was during the siesta.
Well, we're gonna let you kind of like take it to the moon and back on this last one. But where can people find you? Where
Thank
can people
you.
get the record? How do they? I mean, you're Mary Philly, which is I can't believe
That's my Instagram.
which I can't believe was not taken.
I know, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to move in October. I'm moving to LA, so I have to come up with a new Instagram name.
You could just say Mary from Philly.
Come hang out with us out in LA.
Okay. I'll see you there.
Okay, so there's that. But where can they get the record? Where can they?
They
track
can
tour
get
dates?
it off the Ghostly website, I think. And where else? I don't. At the show,
Perfect.
I guess.
Yeah, come say
May
hi.
18th. Yeah, come say hey at Union Pool.
Well, we want to thank everyone, to the Heritage family, and to all of our guests for the last 250 episodes. Which is kind of nuts.
Yes.
But so thanks. We
Thank you to everyone.
Really
Thank
could
you
have
to
done
Jack, Aaron. Thank you to Patrick Martin for that amazing cup of coffee and Bloody Mary at Lodge 6 years ago? 7 years ago?
That was Jack, not Patrick. Just
I thought...
No, just to fix your memory. And thanks to Brandon for introducing us to the Heritage family. I mean, we'll probably do this. You can get it right at 300 in like a year from now. We'll work on our story. And big shout out to my girlfriend who heads back to Berlin tomorrow. I'll miss you. Okay. I mean, do you want to dedicate this last one to anyone in particular?
I don't know. I think my mom.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. All right. Well, thanks for listening. And we will be back next week with another episode of Snacky Tunes.
Yeah.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, Snacky Tunes.
Thanks for listening to this program on heritageradionetwork.org. You can find all of our archived programs on our website, or as podcasts in the iTunes Store by searching Heritage Radio Network. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at heritage_radio. You can email us questions at any time at info@heritageradionetwork.org. Heritage Radio Network is a non-profit organization. To donate and become a member, visit our website today. Thanks for listening.